Well, it's supposed to rain for 3 or 4 days, so figure it's good a time as any to pull this Ranger into the shop and see if I can get started on it. Man, it always just fires right up. Never ever had a problem with that, apparently. Yeah, good little truck. It's been used though. It's been used a lot. Kinda don't even want to tear it apart because it works, but he wants it done, so it's gonna get done. Well, I guess I'll crawl underneath it and see what I got. That's the one thing I hate. There's a little button here. You gotta push so you can turn the key back and pull it out. Oh well. Well, I've managed to get everything out, unbolted and unhooked off it. I got the starter out. That's the first starter I've ever had to use an impact on that bolt right there. Couldn't get it with a wrench or a socket, so I had to break her loose with the impact. Got both the drive shafts out. Well, I got one out, and the other one I just slid off the side. Should be all right. I got all the wires disconnected off of the bottom there. Got the linkages undone. Got the bell housing bolts out, and let me tell you, they were a bitch, especially these top two, because I had to practically make love to the engine so I could get my arms around it enough to get those bolts out, but I got them. Torque converters unbolted. What else? All that's left is the lines and one cross member, and then hopefully I'll just be able to drop her right out. Did all that and I didn't even have to jack it up. You'll notice no jack stands and tires are on the ground. One good thing about trucks, at least. Well, I got her out. Kind of a pain in the ass. I suppose it would have been easier if I took off the transfer case first, but whatever. I got her out and I didn't even have to jack her up until it was already on the ground. Just had to jack it up so I could get the bell housing out from under it, and she came out. You know, I got curious and went on the internet looking for these Bigfoot trucks, and apparently there aren't very many. This place is kind of a magnet for hard to find cars. We got this Bigfoot Ranger here. On the other side we got a 60 Dodge Dart Seneca. Good luck finding one of them anywhere. In the pasture there's a couple of Simcas. People probably never even heard of those. What else we got? Oh, we got a 78 LTD2 with the Sport edition. I think they made 9,000 in 3 years or something like that. I got an 89 Toyota Corolla All-trac wagon, something they only made for 6 months. And we got a Brookwood station wagon, 1960, down there in the pasture. You don't see those very often. But anyway, back to the Ranger. Got the transmission out, so I'm just going to undo it and undo the transfer case there, and then pick her up and put her on the bench and start tearing it down. Well, I got the transfer case off, and of course I picked that thing up and training fluid ran down my leg, but that's alright. Right now I'm just draining out some of the fluid here. Normally I do this when it's in the car, but I figured when I was taking it out I didn't want to lay in a puddle of transmission fluid, so I just do it while it's out. So I'll go ahead and drain that, and then we'll get it up on the bench after I clean it. I can already see some friction material in the back here. So, yeah, probably needed to be done. Yeah, I know you can't smell it on camera there, but this stuff is definitely burnt. I can smell it. And that's not really a good thing, considering most of the training fluid in here is new. When he drove it home, he had to keep adding it and adding it and adding it. So, yeah, you can smell that it's burnt. So, once I get the pan off, we should really know how bad it is, how much clutch material is stuck in the bottom.